One of the friends of the late American Pickers star Frank Fritz has pointed the finger of blame at the History Channel show for the brief rivalry that the late star had with his co-star Mike Wolfe. On September 30, 2 years after suffering a stroke, Frank passed away at the age of 60. Mike, who was 59 years old, and other loved ones were by his side as he went away. Over the course of several years, however, the two were not on speaking terms with one another before the stars reconciled when Frank suffered his stroke. During an exclusive interview with the United States Sun, Jerry Gendreau, a friend of Frank's, provided additional insight into the reasons behind their momentary disagreement. The experience of working with somebody on a daily basis for 10 or 15 years is challenging. It was said to me many years ago that if you like it and if you have a good eye, you should buy it because somebody else would enjoy it. Mike is very, very scripted and knowledgeable about what he does, while Frank would shoot from the hip. After Frank suffered a stroke, Jerry disclosed that the old friends had healed their differences. He also stated that whatever happened between them, time always heals. Jerry expressed his desire for the audience to have witnessed the two of them together on the show. His statement was as follows: "I wish everything could have come around and ended with one season of them all reconciling the differences." According to a statement that Jerry made to the United States Sun in the past, Frank would have been able to return to the show if it weren't for his health problems. Michael was the one who conceived up the idea for the show. Jerry remarked that Mike was astute enough to realize that the show would be a success with Frank performing. If I were to compare Mike and Frank to Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, I would say that they are similar. It is possible that Jerry Lewis Frank was far more vital for the show than he was first thought to be. Being the Jerry Lewis all the time is a really difficult task to accomplish. If Frank hadn't been dealing with his health problems, I believe he would have returned, and he did have a number of significant health problems. Between the ages of 25 and 30, he began to experience symptoms of Crohn's disease. This bowel condition, known as Crohn's disease, is characterized by inflammation in the digestive tract. An explanation was given by Jerry regarding how Frank's spontaneity contributed to his popularity among viewers on the show. He was truly the comedian who popped out with some of the weirdest and dumbest things that you just go, "Wow," Jerry added. He was a true comedian. He left his imprint on the annals of history. FEUD of CO stairs. In 2020, Frank quit American Pickers in order to undergo back surgery, and he was officially terminated from his position in 2021. The feud that Frank had with his co-star Mike was brought to light in 2021 during an interview with the United States Sun. According to Frank, "I haven't spoken to Mike in the past 2 years. Despite the fact that he was aware that my back was infected, he did not call me to inquire about how I was doing. But that is the way things are. Everything is stacked in his favor 100% of the time. For the sake of demonstrating how much, I can't even bend down that far." Okay, that's all right. When you think about it, it's almost as if you have Aerosmith and Steven Tyler is the frontman for the band. I found my place on the show. I'm currently in second place and he's in first place. I don't have a problem with it, but it's possible that he does have a problem. As a further admission, he stated, "I believe Mike is trying to get his brother Robbie in there to take my place. I am really perplexed as to why he is acting in such a manner toward me." Robbie ended up taking Frank's place on the series by the end. Shortly after Frank's interview with the United States Sun, Mike made the announcement on Instagram that his co-star had been terminated. "Frank has been a close friend of mine for as long as I can remember, and I have always thought of him as a brother." According to what he wrote, "The journey that Frank, Danny, and I started back in 2009 has come with its highs and lows, blessings and challenges, but it has also been the most rewarding. This is nothing different from the journey that every other life has. It is via these places, people, and things that we all share a common thread. And the support that you all have given us has been a continual reminder of what the show's message has always been.
Just like all of
It
you,
is not
I will
just to
miss
take
Frank,
care of the
and
past
I pray
that we
that
are here,
as he moves
but on
also
to the
to
next
take care
stage of his
each other.
journey, he is blessed with the very best and everything that one could possibly hope for. That same month, in July of 2022, Frank experienced a stroke. When they got back together over the Memorial Day weekend of 2023, Mike and Frank put a stop to their dispute that had been going on during his health problems. At that time, a source close to Frank communicated to the United States Sun that everything between them is fine. The two of them had known one another for 40 years. In addition to having completed all of this together, they went to high school together. They're very good friends, great friends. DFIQLT in health. The loss of Frank comes 2 years after he suffered a stroke in his home in Iowa. Frank's recovery from the stroke was not complete since he was taken to the hospital for pneumonia and a seizure 4 times in 2022 and 2023. This prevented him from fully recovering from the stroke. After spending time in the hospital, he is now confined to a wheelchair and has been transferred back to a rehabilitation center. The United States Sun reported in August 2023 that a source had earlier stated, "He is able to walk, but he will always require the wheelchair because he is unable to walk for extended periods of time." "You basically lose motion," she said. His mobility was lost. Stroke can affect either the left or the right side of the body. In this case, it afflicted the right side. Sending off the end. It was in August of 2022 when Frank's close friends submitted a petition for conservatorship and guardianship on his behalf. Mike was the one who made the announcement of Frank's dying on Instagram shortly after his passing the next morning. Mike paid tribute to his old friend by naming the upcoming season of American Pickers after him before the show's premiere. "It has taken me a long time to figure out what I was going to say, or even if I wanted to post that we have new episodes starting tomorrow night," he wrote. "It has been a long time of consideration for me." The timing of this and Frank's passing is not great, however. We have been making shows without Frank for 4 years now, and we have always wanted him to be back with this crew, but he couldn't due to health issues. Every time the crew and I were in Iowa, we would go and sit by Frank's side and tell him how much he was missed, how he could never be replaced, and how we will work extremely hard on each episode to make him proud. We would do this every time we were in Iowa. As always, since Frank has left, I dedicate this show and all the others this season in his honor.